My name is Chris Colucci, President and CEO for Markham Board of Trade, your local Chamber of Commerce, and today we're at our Women's Networking Lunch, a follow-on to International Women's Day, where we go from celebrating to connecting. And we also have in our rundown today, Jennifer Green. And Jennifer Green was our Business Excellence Awards and a real participant there. And Jennifer, maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Jennifer Green. I am a founder and partner of Jade Consulting Inc. We are a cloud bookkeeping, accounting, and payroll firm across Canada with 16 employees now. Being involved with the Board of Trade and the Business Award of Excellence, we were lucky enough to be nominees this year. And yeah, pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Wonderful. And maybe you could tell us what you feel it takes to build a truly inclusive organization, not just in policy, but in culture. And where do you feel most leaders fall short?
So culture and inclusivity is really important for us at Jade. We're, as I mentioned, all women, but that doesn't mean that there's not a whole lot of culture and inclusivity and thoughtfulness required when building that culture. I think the most important thing to realize is that when people come to work, they're bringing a whole lot of other things with them. And it's not just those 8 hours that they're with you and they're your work robot. These are humans that come and spend time with you every single day. And so you need to meet those humans where they're at. You know, life's too short to spend your days doing things that you don't enjoy. So culture is really important to us. And I think it's really important for leaders to recognize, yeah, we never know what people are going through potentially behind the scenes, and always to be just have that extra little bit of compassion when dealing with people.
Oh, that's great. And that says a lot about your organization. And has there been a mindset shift that you felt over when you started early on and where you've come in your leadership journey?
Yeah, so Jade's been around for over 25 years. Been actually a Markham Board of Trade member for over 25 years. And then my business partner, my current business partner, we've been in the business now together for about 5.5 years. And as we grew the team, the biggest mind shift really was about leadership. And for me, it was always just like we were a team and we were doing it all together. And at some point, I really needed to step in and acknowledge that I am a leader and that I am leading the team. And, you know, I hope for other women someday they don't actually have to preface any situation by saying, oh, this is hard to acknowledge that I'm a leader, that they'll just step into it and acknowledge that they are leaders. And the stage can be big or small. It doesn't need to be a large stage for people or a large platform. Even within their families, even within their small organizations and their communities, people have an opportunity to lead every day.
Well, that's a great way to frame it. That's a great point.
Thanks.
And what does community mean to you within the Markham business ecosystem?
Yeah, days like today where we get to come to like the women's luncheon. When I first started coming, it used to be like a little bit nervous and a lot of small talk and things like that, but you really do develop some wonderful relationships. The community as a whole, Markham as York Region as a wider base, but within the business community as well, because a lot of the women that are here and that we're talking to today have similar and shared experiences. So once you meet them and get to know them a little bit, like they really do become your circle and your group of friends. And only walked in the door, a few minutes ago and saw lots of familiar faces that I really look forward to spending the day with.
And as a Markham Board of Trade member, what do you find you really like most about it, and how have you and your business benefited?
I love Markham, and I love that there's a network that supports the businesses growing up in Markham. And the Markham Board of Trade, not just to plug you, but does a really great job of supporting the local businesses. You guys always put on an excellent event, which is where people come together to really enjoy themselves, meet new people, enjoy the journey, find like-minded individuals that they can talk to and commiserate with and share celebration with as well. So it's the Board of Trade has been a really important part of our journey.
Oh, and that means everything to us. That's why we work so hard, and hearing that really gives us, puts the wind in our sails. Thank you.
Very true.
And, if you could send one message to young women in Markham today, someone who's questioning whether she belongs in a boardroom or at a table or in a business, what would you say?
Yeah, I'd say take the leap. If that's what your heart's telling you, or that's what you have this inkling or inclination that that's something that you really need to do, I would say definitely do it. And a lot of people would say, anytime you could ever encourage someone to go get a high-paying, confident, solid job, like most parents will tell you to go ahead and do that. Everyone doesn't fit into that mold. And I think if you really feel that you want to step up, whether that's stepping out into business or climbing the corporate ladder, whatever it is, I would definitely encourage you to do it. And you will find, if you look for them, you will find lots of like-minded people along the way that will support you.
That's a great point. And that's a great insight. And is there anything else you'd like to share, Jennifer?
Just really proud of my team. As I mentioned, 16 women all across Canada, and proud of our team, proud of the culture that we've built, and looking forward to a successful 2026.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us today and for sharing your journey.